The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now your hosts, Nico De Haan and Paige Clarke.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It's Nico on Living a Primal Lifestyle. Paige is on assignment, kind of. She's getting some well-needed educational credits, and she'll be back next week. She might be 2 weeks, depending on what's going on. So anyway, happy Friday, folks. The number here is 877-927-6648. I'd like to remind you to pick up my Health Signals newsletter. I got a great issue out there this week, so next week we've got a brand new one. It's twice a month you get it, and it's only $10 a month, so it's a bargain. And I'd like to welcome one of my guests. I was wondering if you've ever been injured, either exercising or just an accident. If you go to the doctor, one of the things that happens is they usually give you some anti-inflammatories. They might tell you to ice it and rest it, or they might tell you to do both. But, the downside of letting an injury go without treatment or just taking anti-inflammatories, there's a risk to that. It's only masking and not fixing the problem. So by having some chiropractic work done, your injuries can be fixed and treated on the spot. And more than one session might be needed a lot of times, but it can save you from other rehab or surgery. A friend of mine, Dr. Carmelo Ramirez, is with me, and he's good enough to take out some time of his busy schedule to do an interview with me on chiropractic work, which I've never, I've had some work done, but I've never interviewed a chiropractor before, Melo, so great. This is the first. So thanks a lot for coming. I know you're always busy, and I think your knowledge and everything is really going to help our listeners, discover maybe an alternative that they hadn't thought of before.
Hopefully I can.
Yeah, so let's hear a little bit about your background and your educational training for this.
Well, to become a chiropractor, it's you go through undergrad. Most people get their bachelor's, but it's a common misnomer that you actually, for chiropractic school, you only need 90 credit hours before you can go into the program. MDs still have it on the books where you only need 60 credit hours. In case there's ever a shortage, they could kind of push them through faster.
I see.
So I got my bachelor's, then I went into chiropractic school, and it takes 3.5 to 4 years full-time.
Okay.
And Life University, you're considered double full-time when you do the program.
Oh.
So you speed it up even faster.
Okay.
So it's a rigorous program, but it's fun. I mean, I enjoy what I did. That was everything from microbiology to all the chiropractic stuff that you get.
And there's a lot of hands-on stuff.
A lot of hands-on.
Like lab work type of thing.
Yeah, you have, we call it slab lab, but it's dissection. You have the hands-on adjusting. You have clubs. I think Life has probably 15 adjusting clubs.
Yeah.
So you have the teachers come in and kind of show you things. And I was fortunate enough to be a president of a club for almost 2.5 years and run a club and show people how to adjust. It was a really fun time. It got a lot of hands-on stuff. So when I came out of school, I was ready to go.
So what made you want to become a chiropractor?
Like most chiropractors, I really believe they get injured. They have an injury, accident, slip, fall, headaches, migraines, neck pain, back pain, you name it. And that's happened to me. I was wrestling. I wrestled from the years of 8 to 12. And at 12 years old, I really messed my back up. My mother took me to her chiropractor. And ever since then, I've sought out other avenues of chiropractic. There's a common thing that people don't realize. There's traditional chiropractic and non-traditional.
Right.
And traditional chiropractic is just the patchwork, the not really fixing the issue.
Right.
And that's essentially what I was getting, but it worked. I got better. I felt
a lot of
better.
cases that can fix the problem, just a minor adjustment.
Yeah, or it takes it back. It takes some of the inflammation out. It gets the range of motion to come back, and that's a really big thing. Decreased range of motion is huge. When that happens, all sorts of things facilitate down and have that injury stay in the muscle memory and the connective tissue memory. Yeah. And it becomes a more devastating injury as you get older.
Yeah. Now, exercise must play an important role in the rehab part of it.
Yes.
As my understanding would be that the muscles kind of rule the bones, so you can put the bone in place, but unless you fix the problem with the muscles, then it can slip back.
It depends.
Okay.
If like right now I'm reading a book, I can't remember the name, but it's the science behind running.
Okay.
And it teaches you to use ligaments and tendons when you run. When you run, why? You're not using energy. So although the muscle is maybe has more attachment onto the bone,
but it's going right for the ride.
He's going for the ride.
Yeah.
It's actually causing you to use energy.
Right.
The ligaments, you know what? They're not going to move.
Right.
If they start to shift out of place, what happens? They don't need energy, so they'll just hold it there.
Nice.
So I feel that some people, you always need to exercise. You have to move.
Yeah.
I saw a T-shirt when I was running the other day. It was something like if you stop moving, you'll rust. And it was on an older lady. Who was probably 7 years old. She's absolutely right.
Well, certainly, as a hunter and gatherers thousands of years ago, if you didn't travel, you would be left behind and you would die.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
injuries can be devastating. But I'm learning a lot more about injuries, especially, of course, through jiu-jitsu, because you do get injured now and then. But also, that the rehab is part of the movement. Movement is essential in rehab. Rest is important, too, but they're both important. So
Yes.
you can't have one without the other, I don't think.
But yeah, if you go back into, when we were hunting gatherers, you're right. If you didn't move, you didn't go with the flow, you didn't follow the animals, you stayed behind and you died.
Yeah.
Nowadays, what do? We sit at a computer, most people,
Yeah.
and then there's all kind of reactions that happen that they don't get to express that energy, and then it turns into be a negative effect. And you heard the negative feedback loop. This becomes almost like positive feedback, but it doesn't mean what you think it means.
Oh.
Negative feedback loop is it counteracting.
Yeah.
A positive feedback loop actually causes you to go worse into that thing.
And that can happen in our body in a lot of different ways,
Yeah,
can it?
exactly.
Yeah. So how long have you been practicing?
I've been out. I graduated over 2 years ago. I've had my own practice now for 18 months maybe.
Okay.
But I've been teaching the work that I do probably at 25 and a half. I just turned 30. So I've been teaching other chiropractors that were in practice for 30 years how to switch over their practice and learn the style that I've been teaching for a while now.
And what is the style that you're teaching called? Is it
Well, there's no technical name for it. It's how you analyze film. One of the things I use is a motion X-ray. So I'm seeing restrictions instead of trying to feel them. You have to palpate your neck this way. You got to go through 9 layers of tissue and 9 layers of tissue this way.
Right.
So I always tell people, if you want to do this at home, is actually get 2 pens and try to touch them, the points together. It's very difficult. Imagine trying to do that through 10 centimeters of a neck.
Wow.
And then when you get off the bone and you're just slightly off, you actually have different tension levels in the bone. So that may feel tight, but you're just that practitioner might have been off on their hands. This allows me not to use that style. It gives me some objective data instead of subjective data.
You mentioned imaging, so you're actually taking an image of while you're working? How does it work?
So you come in, you do the exam process. I do some standard X-rays. I do some palpation stuff, and then I also do what's called a video fluoroscopy unit. It's a low radiation. It's not like a hospital. It's a different factors, and I do that periodically.
So it's a lower radiation X-ray type?
Yes.
Okay.
I think one of the things that I read, it was like 2,700 X-rays, so images in like a 90-second or 1 minute, 1 minute scan.
Wow.
Because it's a live feed, so it's a frame by frame thing.
Oh, so you can actually see what's going on, where the muscle's moving, and what it's affecting.
Yeah, so you can see ligament. Actually, there's 22 ligaments in the neck, so you can see if there's a damage to the ALL ligament, the PLL ligament, or one of the other little ligaments. You actually can see if there's damage there.
Well, that must be a big benefit because now you can see what the reaction, and then if there's a negative reaction, you change the methodology.
Yes, instantly.
So how in the heck does a chiropractor who doesn't use this imaging see that? They don't see. They have to go by feel?
Yeah, it's there's nothing wrong with what I call some of the old school chiropractic.
Sure.
I always look at the goal is to stand on the shoulders of giants so you can see further. So that one day someone can stand on my shoulders and see even further. So new technology comes out and you have to adapt fast.
Sure.
And if you don't adapt, you get left behind, just like the hunters and gatherers. They got left behind if they couldn't move or adapt.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So what would you say, so you've discussed some of the treatments. So what do you think people should they include chiropractic care as part of their general health care? That's really, I guess, where I'm going with this question.
I believe they should, but understanding that chiropractic, although I believe it is for everybody, it may not help everybody. And that's going, and I know I'll catch flack on this from my friends, but there are times where I think I can help somebody, and it turns out that they might need something a little different. And sometimes you don't know. And that's limited. That's very limited. But I think people should at least try it out and see, but to the right chiropractor.
Yeah.
We're not all equal. Not all mechanics are the same. Not all cooks are the same.
Yeah.
Not all chiropractors are the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult for people because you hear things. I know I've had good experiences having adjustments done, and then I've had experiences where it just didn't seem to work. Mm-hmm. And a couple of times in a row where it didn't work, and then the third time it did. So you do have to be patient. You have to understand, I think, what's going on. But I think that imaging, that sounds a pretty interesting concept.
I know there's a few guys in Florida that have it. Mm-hmm. And I know that most of them don't use it how I'm using it. Mm-hmm. They're using it just for a ligament laxity study. And that's a little software you get, and you actually can draw dots on the bones, and you actually see if the vertebrae is slipping too far in front.
I see.
And they're just using that for car accidents, which is great. Yeah. But there's also more use to it. So why not bring that to the average, everyday patient? Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm doing it with. That's what I'm using it with.
So what would you say if you're going to include chiropractic as part of your health care? How often would you see a chiropractor?
In the beginning, it's always more. Here becomes a dilemma. It's how good are you? What standards are you using? Meaning what methods are you using to get data? I always call everything that I do is data. Yeah. Whether it's the scans that I'm using, whether it's the fluoro that I'm using, whether it's the x-rays, everything is data. Okay. That all has to play an effect. So in the beginning, it's typically a little more often. And then as you get better and you're holding, it's a little bit less.
So you sell packages then?
Essentially, I sell packages, yeah.
That makes sense.
I think it's like, okay, well, you're this age, you've been to the chiropractor, 300 times or maybe never, or you've had 27 accidents in your life. Mm-hmm. These are all things that I take into consideration. Are you in compensation or out of compensation? And that literally means if you have a straight neck or a reverse curve, your what we call the atlas angle, the first bone in your neck, should be arranged in a certain position. And when that's not arranged in a certain position, what will happen is that's a compensating factor. And if it's not compensating properly, it takes longer for the body to heal and recognize. So that means longer treatment. Mm-hmm. And then if you're younger, typically faster. If you eat well, faster. If you move and work out on a regular basis, you heal faster. Okay. If you're a couch potato, you're overweight, you don't want to do some of the little things that I have in my program, it's going to take a lot longer. Yeah. And then cost you more money.
Yeah, that's kind of like what in my practice too is when I instruct people on exercise, it's great that they see me once or twice or sometimes 3 times a week. It's never enough. Mm-hmm. It's stuff that you do on your own that really makes the difference in it. So if you see somebody, I have a couple of clients that I see every 2 weeks, but they do a lot on their own. And they come to me to get advice or to fix things and to rehab kind of in an exercise kind of way. So I imagine with you too that you seeing you on a regular basis would be a great benefit to just keep you in line and keep you active in what you do.
The more you're doing your own, the more you're able to actually see me less.
Yeah. Okay. Phone number here, folks, is 877-927-6648. We're going to be here with our guest, Dr. Melo Ramirez, and we're going to have Larry from Cheyenne, Wyoming, on the phone right after the break. So please stick around. And while you're at it, pick up my Health Signals newsletter. I got an issue out there that you need to read. So check that out. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico De Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at directionshares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the program, folks. You're on Living a Primal Lifestyle with Nico De Haan. Paige is out of town, and I have Dr. Carmelo Ramirez here, chiropractor. And Larry is on the phone from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Larry, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing, Nico?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having the show. The call is for Dr. Mello, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Mello, I still struggle. About 8 years ago, I had a neck fusion for C5, 6, I believe, anterior cervical, and I still struggle with. I'm really healthy. My low weight before the surgery was 6'1". I was down to 140, if you can believe it. I was had one of those undiagnosed compressions, stenosis, and I'm scared. I have headaches and fatigue. I wake up groggy. It's really a tough life. I'm sort of in survival mode for the last 10 years due to this. I eat a perfect Paleolithic diet. I don't cheat. Take a lot of supplements that are indicated. Anyways, I can't break through the grogginess, and I'm scared to go to I had one, boom, quick crack. It did relieve the headache, but I'm terrified to go to a chiropractor. That quick crack you guys do, I'm fused.
There's a couple different ways of chiropractic. I don't do any twisting of your neck in my office. There are 352 known techniques for chiropractic, and if you learn 5, like let's say I learned 7 of them, and I bring all 7 into my practice, well, I unofficially created my own technique. The thing is, are you drinking enough water? That's always my first thing with headaches. Are you drinking plenty of water?
Well, water and, not so much water. I do juice a lot.
So pump up your water. I would say, do you work out?
Oh, definitely.
So I would try to do at least maybe 3/4 of your body weight in ounces, And so you may go to the bathroom a little more, which is fine. You'll get more exercise. It's no biggie. But try that first. If you give us your information, I can try to find you someone who does something similar to even what I do in your area. But that's typically the first thing. When I hear headaches, I think of dehydration first. That's the cheapest and simplest way. The thing with neck fusions, how long ago did you get? You said 8 years?
Actually, around 3. Time flies. 10.
10 years. And how old are you now?
I'm now 57. I'm still alive, so it's good. Okay.
The most thing I notice when you have is fusions is that you start wearing out above and below the site. You know, there's 24 movable spinal bones as an adult, and what will happen with most people, if you get that surgery, it actually fuses the two bones together, and now that motion is altered. So if you combination with an altered movement pattern with the structure of the spine being altered, you start having, you can have compression on the nerve, and that can cause some of your headaches. Or you have what I call a compensation issue. Something else above or below the site was irritated, but for some reason they fused that site together. And that's typically what I see with most headaches. So try water first.
And you're saying I should get another one of those cross-sectional MRIs to see if the spaces are intact? Not
necessarily. I mean, you can get a regular plain film lateral x-ray just to see is there any bone growth coming off above and below the site, and how did the disc look in comparison. But I always tell people you want a weighted x-ray. You don't want to lay down for it. You want to be standing or seated.
All right. Well, it's a real problem. I never wake up rested, and I'm groggy.
Do you know what your curve looks like? Is it straight, reversed? Do you have any clue?
I had just a strict straight spinal stenosis from a bone spur due to a whiplash injury in high school football.
Okay.
So I had nothing fancy, so to speak. But I can't seem to break through. I mean, I can't get my head clear. My head's groggy.
Well, try this initially. Your pillow, is it thick or thin?
My what?
Your pillow, the pillow that you sleep on at night.
I use thin compressed pillows. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's pretty good. Try to do no pillow and try to sleep only on your back right now. There's a little what you can do if you're a side sleeper. You take an old magazine, you roll up into like a cylinder shape, you tape it. You put it on both sides of your sides, and then you put an ace band just lightly around it, and that'll help you from rolling onto your side in the middle of the night.
Dr. Mello, last question, I'll let you go. Do some people not recover from these fusions?
Some people. I mean, it's hard to say exact numbers, but some people won't recover. If you give us your information after this, I can talk to you in private and then try to find you somebody in that area.
All right, thank you so much.
Hey, Larry, thanks a lot for calling. And after the break, we'll give some information out where you can reach Dr. Mello. So if you want to consult with him or by email, you can do that. And I'm going to address the drinking juice after the break, too. So we'll be right back. Thanks a lot, folks. Stick around.
The Art of Timing the Trade Charts has officially launched at TFNN. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind software, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, butterflies, ABCs, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the market for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, and even months searching to find. As part of our introductory pricing, we're offering licenses available at only $59 per month. We're so confident that you'll love this new outstanding piece of charting software that we'll even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Lock in your low price today by ordering your copy at TFNN.com. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives you Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. With Market Insights, nothing is left to guessing. With the market at record levels, volatility is here, and now is a perfect time to take advantage of a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights. As recently as March 26th, Tom advised his subscribers to liquidate their 4 short-term equity holdings, closing out all 4 positions for a combined 15.9% profit. And on April 1st, Tom advised his clients to sell their longer-term position in AIG warrants, locking in more than a 40% profit in just that one trade. If you'd like to see the kind of newsletter Tom O'Brien sends out to his subscribers each morning, then sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the program, folks. It's Nico at Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm here with Dr. Carmelo Ramirez, who's a chiropractor, and we're getting a lot of good information. The number here is 877-927-6648 if you have a question for Dr. Mello. Remind you that my Health Signals newsletter is out, and please pick up a copy and subscribe to it. It's 30 days free, then it's only $10 a month. You get 2 issues a month. Now, we were talking to Larry, Dr. Mello, about his particular problem. Now, if somebody wanted to consult with you over the telephone, what number would they be calling?
I would actually call my cell phone. Okay. And I'll actually give it out. It's 215-272-2196.
Okay. And if they wanted to reach you by email?
It's DocMelodC, so it's DocMelodC@gmail.com.
Okay. So anybody interested in getting some information, or if you want to consult, I'd highly recommend giving Dr. Mello a call. Now, Larry spoke that he didn't do a lot of hydration with water. He did some juicing, the way I understood it.
Yes.
The problem with juicing, Larry, and everybody else really, is you're really impacting your insulin. You're taking all the sugars out of whatever you're juicing, whether it's vegetables or fruits, and I would recommend not doing fruits at all, and vegetables on a very limited basis. But especially the green vegetables are really good to do. But it's always a shock to the system, juicing. It's not particularly healthy, as far as I'm concerned. I would recommend drinking water, tea, a little coffee, a little alcohol, but not juices. And no sports drinks, things like that. If you want something like a sports drink, I would recommend coconut water, which is the natural sports drink, and way, way better than Gatorade or any of those. So just to let you know, juicing is not recommended at all.
Yes.
So what other things, what's what do people come to you mostly for?
Unfortunately, it is when they have an injury.
Yes.
People don't realize is that, pain is the last sign of an injury. It's the last thing to come on.
Okay.
It's also the first thing to leave.
Wow.
So people go, oh, I'm feeling better. Like I do this all the time in my practice. I go, all right, so right now you're in pain, and the Powerball here was what, $590 million. Some lady
I
just
didn't
won
win it. There's a lot of pain.
Yeah,
there.
I was trying to win it myself. Well, here's the thing. If you have a really bad neck injury, right? Let's say it's if the 10s you're going to the hospital, 0's no pain. Let's say it's a 5 or 6, so it's pretty bad. You won $600 million. How would you feel?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, right? Now that you do the same exact thing, you're feeling phenomenal, and you get bad news that maybe someone passed away in your family.
Yeah.
How do you feel? So just because you put your 2 feet on the floor doesn't mean you're healthy.
Yeah.
It's mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
It's a culmination of all that. And pain is one of those things. It's tricky. It's very tricky. Some days you're good, some days you're bad. You kind of have ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
But if you're 90%, 95%, and then you dip down to 70, you notice it, but it's not bad. But if you're 30s and 40s, you have the ebbs and flows.
Funny that you mentioned that. An acute injury like I had with my skiing accident. Had the injury down on the slopes, felt the pain. It was pretty bad. Got up, skied the rest of the day, wasn't too bad. Next day, kind of painful, swollen, and I decided not to ski. And then 2 days, the next 2 days, I skied like a maniac. It was great. Had a little brace on. It was okay. And then when I got home, it was swelling, and I said, well, I'll just wait till the swelling goes down. No, don't have to see the doctor, And finally, when the swelling went down, I could see actually pretty much where the tear was almost,
Interesting.
below the skin. So then that's when I went to the specialist, and he said, yeah, let's take an MRI on that sucker, And for sure, it wasn't painful, but it was awkward because I couldn't move certain ways. It was more painful after the surgery.
Oh yeah.
But then now, of course,
inflammation kicks back in. The body starts the healing process.
Yes.
All over.
And inflammation, part of inflammation is actually the healing process, isn't it? Too.
Yes.
Part of it, if it gets too inflamed, that's where we recommend getting ice, anti-inflammatory, so no more damage is done. That's the way I understand.
Well, most people, they get an acute injury, and they might rest it for a day.
Yeah.
And then they put heat on it right away.
Right.
And I go, you know what, you're going to feel good for about 2 hours afterwards.
No heat
and as soon as all that healing nutrients come in from the heat, it's going to be throbbing for hours.
Yes.
Ice is going to feel stiff for an hour or two, but then it's going to feel better.
Yeah.
And that's people they kind of forget that little stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's all important to realize what's going on in your body. Ice, a lot of people recommend icing. I recommend only icing in the initial part, and then if there's problems, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then normal activity. I think.
Yeah, if it's acute injury, it's ice for 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah.
If it's a chronic issue that you've been dealing with for a while that's not an acute flame-up, you can do heat.
Yes.
And that's where most people it gets kind of confusing.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the most common treatments that? So people are coming to you mostly because they've had a problem.
Yes.
What would you'd rather have them come in on a regular basis, maybe once a year, or?
I would rather if
twice a year, 4 times a year.
If you're not sure, if you're not sure there's an issue, go and get an exam. That's it. And then if there's nothing there, great. If there's something there, and you're not even aware, like here's what happened with my family. It took me 2 years to get my parents and my in-laws to my mentor in Jersey, and they live 45 minutes one direction or an hour depending on who's going. So it's a nice little trip. It's a 2-hour trip there and back. It took me 2 years to get them there, and I had the privilege to see all their necks. And out of all 4 necks, my mother-in-law was the worst. She's had no pain. She had carpal tunnel surgery years ago. She wakes up every maybe 3 times a week with a little bit of pain for seconds in her hand. Yeah. But out of all 3 necks, she had the worst looking neck. So it's the straw that broke the camel's back. At some point, the body just goes, you know what? I'm no longer compensating. Here's your pain.
And that's really what happens a lot. Then you have a minor injury, and your body compensates, so you think you're okay. And then as things add up, you might have another injury. It might just start turning more chronic as it goes along.
I'm sure you see the muscle imbalance. I'm sure you start to see that.
Yeah.
And that's just something that's adapted. Your little splenius capitis muscle on the top of your head, they're postural muscles. Yeah. They're not muscles that are meant to hold your head. Not this. It has to be nice and back.
Yeah. Let me take your mic and put it up a little bit more.
Sorry about that, man.
Part of the hazards of being live, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that too, because when I exercise people or take them through routines, there's simple things that you can do to correct the little discomforts that they have during exercise just by a different alignment, just by your posture. I know that I can gain an inch just by increasing how I stand. You know, increasing my posture and lengthening myself a little bit, and all of a sudden there's spaces between the things that are kind of compressing. Yep. So posture plays a huge role, and one of the things exercise does, of course, is to give you a nice condition to hold those bones in the proper place. So once you establish that, then the minor adjustments really do a world of good, don't they? Yeah,
I think if you go through the initial phase, and that's the heavier duty. Most people I recommend, well, depending on what you do. If you are if you're into jiu-jitsu or you're a carpenter, if you do something that like a hairdresser, your elbows are constantly up high, or a groomer.
Right.
Okay, you probably are going to need continual care. That might be anywhere from, for me, for what I do, every other week to once every 6 weeks.
Right.
So my wife is roughly once every 4 weeks, once every 4 weeks, once every 6 weeks. She comes to me. Yeah. She comes into the office. I don't do anything at home.
Right.
All my equipment's in the office. That's where you go. And she makes an appointment like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have clients that come over because of being a hairdresser. Then we start strengthening those muscles they use, and then add some flexibility to the ones that are, the opposite muscles.
Antagonist.
And so we actually could work really in good tandem together, sending people back and forth between you and me to, help them be whole in a sense.
Yeah, I actually have someone that I actually went to her work actually.
Yeah.
She's a dog groomer,
Okay.
and I've never seen what dog groomers go through. And the lifting, they try to use stuff that help them, but they're constantly standing on one side, standing on another side.
Sure.
They're right hand dominant. And
Yeah.
their scissors are $200, so they're going to get one pair of scissors, not two, not a right and a left. So they always cut with one side.
Sure.
So they're
it's awkward cutting with. Believe me, it's awkward cutting with the wrong side. I've been doing that. So taping this hand and then trying to. Oh, it's a nightmare, folks. I'll tell you that.
I tell people to brush their teeth with their left hand and see what happens. You end up bumping into your gums a couple times.
So let me ask you a question about the spine, because when I think about chiropractic, I think about the spine. So how important is the health of your spine?
Have you ever heard of a spinectomy or a spine replacement? It's a joke.
Okay, yeah,
but you only get one.
Yeah.
They've never made a part. Well, we're going to just take this and refit it and put it back in there.
Right.
Now, they take things out, they remove things, but they actually never replace the whole vertebrae or a section of the vertebrae.
Yeah.
That's how important it is. The curves are important from the side. It gives it strength. It acts as a shock absorber. So when those curves get off, you actually increase force load in certain areas. So like the guy Larry, if it wasn't an accident, it was just over time compression, and it started to wear out the disc. One thing I do in my practice, I tell people, look, we're going to be so kind to you. We're going to take a radiograph of the right knee, the joint space, and then we're going to have you come back in 5 years. But in that 5 years, you only can walk and move on that one leg, hop, talk, whatever you do, one leg. But we're so kind to you, we're so nice that after the 5 years, we take another radiograph. And would you expect the joint space to be more or less after 5 years?
Less.
And they go less, and I go, why? And they go, compression, weight. Same thing with your disc.
Yeah, okay.
If the curve is off, it increases the force load in an area, and that disc gets beat up and goes less and less and less and less and less. And then all of a sudden, you have these little holes that come out from the side. They come out in this kind of direction, and you have a vein, and artery, and nerve that come out of there. So if you're compressing the vein, the artery, or the nerve, you're going to have some problems at some point.
Yeah. Do you ever treat runners because of compression or anything?
I personally haven't, but I know ones that I know chiropractors that they only adjust athletes.
Really?
Yeah, that's all they do. They're they love the athletic. The serious athletes, some are cool, some I don't like, because if you don't do what they say, and they have a bad performance, they blame it on you.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm trying to realign. You are using the wrong muscles, and the wrong ligaments, or not in the right or not in the right way. This will actually help you. But you can.
So do you also have a avenue for them to learn the right way with doing exercises the right way?
For running?
For running or for anything?
No, with running and exercise, someone like you, I would refer him to. I want to stay in my little box.
Sure.
If you're outside of my box, then I got to push you to the appropriate professional, whatever that may be.
So in our businesses, it's really important to get the referrals, to get to know the chiropractor, the personal trainer, the specialized doctors, the doctors who do all these different things that is related to what you do.
Exactly. I've been on
so you do a lot of networking.
Yeah, let's see. I think in March I had about 30 meetings with other health professionals.
Wow.
It was just,
that's how we met.
Exactly.
You called me.
Yeah. You do the jiu-jitsu thing. I started doing it recently. I was like, this is and I didn't realize you were, well, now you're a black belt, but didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very, I'm just trying to find out who's my network, who can I use, who can't I use.
Yeah. How long have you been in this area? Now, you're in the St. Pete area, right?
Yes, I'm in the St. Pete area. Well, I did my internship, and I worked for just like 4 months as an exam doc before I got my license. I got here, I want to say, October of 2010.
Yeah.
But I thought I was leaving, going to Jacksonville, so I didn't really do much marketing or work of trying to find people. But now, since I'm here, I've been on a mission to try to find the people that have like-mindedness with me.
Now, your office is located on Tyrone Boulevard?
Yeah, it's about a mile west of Tyrone Mall.
Okay. So people who know the area know where it is, and pretty easy to get to. I was there last week, was it?
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And beautiful office, a lot of great equipment there, and it's just a great atmosphere. So I was really happy to see that.
Well, thank you.
For sure. Now you are really busy also giving talks to a lot of different people. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, I don't do much in nutrition. I call it basic nutrition. It's similar to what you kind of do, but for me, I want to find your genetic type.
Okay.
So everyone has it's called macronutrients. It's protein, it's fat, it's carbs. There's a percentage that your genetics should eat. So there's a lot of myths out there, like you need to eat 5 or 6 small meals a day. Not really. You can't eat after 7. I eat pretty much 8 o'clock, probably 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9:30. That's typically most of my meals. Especially if I'm doing some heavier lifting, yes, I'm definitely eating 5 meals a day. My wife, 3 meals a day, but maybe 4 snacks or 3 snacks. So it's just finding the right percentages.
Yeah, I did. Well, what I do now is I have breakfast and I have dinner and I have a little snack, pretty much. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm finding through the paleo style of diet that I'm eating less and less as we go along. Kind of a unique thing. It's I'm eating less protein, which is what everybody who is on the anti-aging kick says, okay, you got to eat less. And it starts to make sense when you uptick your fat. When the fat content and your real good fat is in there, you get very satisfied. You have a lot of fuel. So now the only thing you need to do is for building muscles and organs and everything is you need the protein. The carbs are kind of made from the rest of it. And also, we eat a few vegetables here and there. That's my diet. Anyway, we'll be right back, folks. We got one more segment, and Dr. Miller's going to stick around for the last one, so you can still give us a call at 877-927-6648. Otherwise, we'll be right back. And pick up that Health Signals newsletter, will you? It's only $10 a month. You get 2 great issues a month, so we'll be right back after the break.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the program, folks. It's Nico on Living a Primal Lifestyle. You know, Paige is out this week, and maybe next week. We're not sure yet, but she will be back after that. So, join me. I'm going to have some interesting guests, or I'll just be blabbing by myself here. But today I have Dr. Carmelo Ramirez, and it's been really good, man. So let me ask you, I got one more question here. What part of your job do you enjoy the most?
The most? Seeing people actually get better. Like when you adjust somebody and they come up and their eyes are bright and they can see, I can see better. Or they go, oh man, look at my range of motion. I can take my head all the way back now. That's by far the best.
Yeah, I can understand that. Now, in your office, you have yourself and a couple other people?
Well, there's actually 3 doctors in the office.
Okay.
There's me, another chiro, and an acupuncturist.
Okay.
We are all separate practices.
Okay.
So I'm a one-man army right now. When I'm in there, there's nobody else in there. Okay. That's how I want it right now.
Okay.
As I get even busier, and I physically, and there's been days where it's like, maybe I do need to hire somebody, but it's not. I don't want it yet.
Yeah. Well, we all have that too, and that's the way I run my business. I have myself in there, and Sylvia, who's a physical therapist, and Tom, who does Pilates, and we run our own businesses. It's great, and being in business for yourself in America is a wonderful thing.
It's great. I love it.
It's the greatest country in the world for that. That's for sure. So. Are you going to expand at any time, doing different kind of treatments that you're doing now? Or what's your future plans?
Right now, the short plan is I'll probably open up another day. But I'm always researching. I'm always looking. I only work 2.5 days a week. I'm physically in the office.
Right.
The other time is spent researching, reading, trying to find the best, latest, and greatest. in cost analysis. Well, this machine's $100,000. Well, maybe I can't get that yet. But oh, this thing is only $5,000. Well, let me see. Let me get it, because if I don't like it, I can always sell it for that price or a little bit less and not really lose any money on it. And I'm always trying to find something new that I can add, and we'll never know.
Yeah. So if somebody's thinking about having going to see a chiropractor, what would you recommend they look for in a chiropractor for, the typical things that people go to, and that's usually an injury, like you said?
What is their goal? The actual person who may be injured, what's their goal? Does that goal align with the chiropractor's goal? Ask them, what is your goal for me?
Okay.
Does it seem phony and baloney, or is it truly legit? I can tell you what I want to see from you. There's 3 things. If I get one corrected, I'm happy. But I'm greedy. I want all 3 to get better.
Yeah.
And that is typically what I want to do. If they align, it could be a good match.
Yeah. I noticed one thing when I was at your office. The first thing you do is we sit down and we talk for, well, I bet we spent 30, 40 minutes together chatting about me, which is great. And, I really do recommend people going to see you because of that, because the first thing is that you've got to understand what's going on with that person, what kind of lifestyle they have, what past injuries they have, and what's bugging them.
Exactly.
So that's really cool.
Again, it's all data.
Anything else? Any final words that you want to tell our audience about?
No. I mean, if you want help trying to find someone in your area, I'd be more than happy to try to find somebody.
Okay.
There's last count that I know, there's maybe 20 people that do even something similar to what I do in the world.
But you have a network that you can go
But
into.
I have a network. I have a couple guys I can call, and they said, I found one of my patients moved from here to, I think she moved to Detroit, and I found someone up near Detroit for her. But it's rare.
What's that phone number again for you?
My cell number is 215-272-2196.
Okay. And your email address?
It's DocMelodC. So it's DocMelodC@gmail.com.
Great. Awesome having you, even with my bad hand. A chiropractor, I feel pretty safe.
Yeah, that's why I squeezed here. I didn't squeeze up there.
That's right. You know what you're doing. Hey, it was great having you on.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it. Maybe we can do it again sometime.
Definitely,
and
love
we'll
to.
cover a little different avenue there, maybe go into diet and things like that. Folks, that's our show today. Hopefully Paige will be back next week, if not in 2 weeks, and we'll see you then. So pick up my Health Signals newsletter while you're at it, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.